this Christmas, I only wanna be close to you.
What if I told you that your singleness is not a bad thing? I mean, would it be crazy to think that you're single for a reason, and not just any reason? A godly purpose? Yeah, girl, that's what I told her too. Hold on a second. So many people spend so much of their lives wanting not to be single that they actually forget to enjoy the benefits of being single. But that's not what we do around here, is it? During this video, I'm going to dare you to think a little differently about your singleness. Maybe it's not a curse. Of course it's not. If I've learned anything in life about the opinions of people, it's that if you always believe them, you'll miss out on so much. When God called me to be single in January 2023, I had no idea the reaction of what people would think. And honestly, I didn't care. But I did want to know a little bit what a few people thought, so I asked. The people that mattered most were fine with it. I mean, it wasn't really up to them, but they supported my decision because they knew that it's what God had called me to do. Others called me a martyr or thought that I would change my mind. Literally everyone tries to convince me that I will change my mind. Mine's not changed. Probably wondering why I'm sharing this, but I share this to say that I get it. It can be hard to make a decision when it seems like everyone around you either isn't making that decision or hates the fact that you're making that decision. And to those of y'all who are on here saying, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be single. Everyone around me is dating. Why am I not married yet? Well, as someone who's officially of the age where some people start getting married, which to me is absolutely crazy to me because I feel like yesterday I was in diapers, I can say that if God has called you to the ministry of marriage, you just have to wait. And you should be enjoying the single season because, baby, you do not get it back. But I understand the desire of wanting to have a family and to know that when you get older, you're not going to be alone. Well, I can tell you right now, whether God has called you to singleness for a season and you're waiting for marriage, or whether God has called you to singleness for a lifetime, because that's what God called me to too. Know that you're not alone. God is always with you, and God will provide people to do seasons of life with. You are never alone. And it comes to truly understanding that God is with you all the time, that he'll never leave you nor forsake you, that his word is true, that you understand that in your single season, you're actually being spared. These dating streets are weird and odd as crap. Excuse my potty mouth. We are saving so much time. Okay, let's play Would You Rather. Ready? Would you rather be able to say that you're in a relationship at the end of it was a waste of time, or would you have rather waited for either God's best if you're called to marriage, or just living your best life as you are right now? See, there's one thing about singleness that a lot of people don't realize. Singleness is actually biblical. It says in the Bible, Matthew 19:11-12, Jesus replied, "Not everyone can accept this word, but only those to whom it has been given. For there are eunuchs who were born that way. There are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by others, and there are those who choose to live like eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. The one who can accept this should accept it." If you can accept it, you should be accepting it. There's also another verse in the Bible that talks about staying in which the way we were when we were saved. I was saved when I was 4. So singleness is not a bad thing. So stop believing those lies about what people said about it. Come on, we gotta go. All right. So you're probably wondering how singleness got started for me. And that's actually a really interesting story. So let's talk about it. It was January 2023, and I was really frustrated. Not because I wasn't in a relationship, that's never been the case, but because I was irritated. I felt like there were so many women who were in relationships and they really wanted to be in them, but there was so much injustice being done. People being treated not right, people going through situations that they didn't have before. But at the same time, I also had really good examples of relationships. I had examples of godly relationships that had lasted for years, 8 kids, traveling the world, the whole 9. These 2 parallels. Holding them both in my hand, I started to observe them and see them for what they really were. It's not that marriages weren't good, but they also had their hard times too. I just realized that it took work that I wasn't sure I was ready to give. So in an effort to find the answers to all the questions I had about relationships, why they seem so unfair, why others seem so great, I decided to talk to the one who made me, and he had some answers. That's when he led me to Matthew 19:11-12, which we talked about earlier, and a ton of other scriptures, like the ones in Genesis that talk about when things shifted after sin was welcomed into the world, when men became the head of the family. And with these answers, I decided to make a decision. This decision was hard-fought and strategic. I decided that it would be better for me to stay single and to enjoy my life, to fully focus on the plans and purpose that God had for me, than to spend my time constantly wanting something I really didn't want. Society tells us a lot about relationships. From very young age, girls are taught that the ultimate goal is to be married and be a wife, which isn't a bad thing if you're called to it. That's the ultimate question. So I ask you, do you want to be married and in a relationship because other people said that it's what's right and what's normal? Or because you know that it's God's call for your life and that it's a desire that's actually in your heart? That's the question I had to ask myself. So with an answer given, the choice was obvious. I realized that I was one of the few people called to live single for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. And as someone who's always been a rarity of rare opportunities, I really enjoyed it. And that's when this all got started. So I say all this to encourage you that if you've been called to singleness, or even if you're in a season of singleness and it is within God's will, purpose, and plan for you to get married, don't rush it. Enjoy it. Go on a solo vacation. Spend time with your friends and family. Make the most of it, but certainly don't waste it. Come on. In life, we're asked to make a lot of decisions about who we are and what our story will be. If we put our story in the hands of God, the answer should be easy. So I guess my point of all of this is to say that whether you're called to be single for the sake of the kingdom and you know it, whether you're trying to still figure out whether marriage or lifelong singleness is for you, whether you're in the waiting season, you are welcome here. When you're here, we are going to talk about what it means to fully embrace singleness, whether for a season or a lifetime. We are going to embrace the fact that God has created us uniquely and wonderfully, apart from the idea of any relationship, whether that be a marriage, whether that be friends, whether that even be our own family. God has uniquely created you for a divine purpose, and I really, really want every boy and girl to understand not to just go into a marriage or really desire a relationship with somebody simply based on the fact that everybody else has it. Find out what God has for you and then pursue what God has for you with all of your heart. So if you're after trying to pursue what God has for you, if you're after fully embracing the singleness that God has called you to, if you're after fully wanting to enjoy all that God has created you to do, being able to fully focus on your purpose, being able to fully lock in because you're single, because you have the time, because you are able to make the time to put God first. This is home. Temporary home. Obviously, heaven is our home. But you're welcome here. And I love you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a like, comment, and please subscribe so we can continue to do life together. This is Vlogmas Day 2. I will see you for Vlogmas Day 3. We're going to go on an adventure. All right, love you guys.